Hi, how are you guys today? So, I want to talk about what you eat to lose weight, your diet, in other words, and getting a little tired of it because it's a slippery slope if you go, you're thinking, well, I wish I could just eat French fries and I wish I could just make those chocolate cookies and eat those. And oh man, I wish I could just go and have that special pizza that I like. Um, I wish I could go eat all these donuts. And, whatever your thing is that you like. When you start thinking about how you wish you could go back to eating the way you used to, your diet's gotten a little stale and you're not enjoying it as much. And I've found that to be the case as the weather's cooled and, um, you know, it's nice to have consistency, but sometimes you have to switch it up a little. And sometimes it's not just about just switching it up to keep your body, from getting used to and adapting to things. It's about switching it up so that you feel excited about your diet again. I mean, yeah, sure, I have cheat meals occasionally, and I have 3 Thanksgiving meals coming up here, which is ridiculous, right? I mean, I have one this Saturday because my family's doing their Thanksgiving early because my younger brother and sister-in-law are going to Germany, so for Thanksgiving, and it's a birthday celebration too. And then there's a potluck at church that's a Thanksgiving meal, and then I'm going to a real Thanksgiving in Kansas. So I have 3 of them. Okay, so no, I'm not going to eat full Thanksgiving meals every time. That's not going to happen. But I am going to enjoy myself on Saturday, and I'm going to have some pie, and I'm going to be a little more careful because I'm trying to, deal with Thanksgiving challenge, and I don't need to have more than one actual real fun Thanksgiving day, and I think I'll make that on Thanksgiving Day. But the one at church, I'm just going to eat some meat and some fruit or vegetable or something like that and make it a regular day. So it's like I can make it all work out, but I can enjoy what I have too. Um, and so as the weather is cold, I'm like, okay, the coffee, okay. I still like iced coffee even when it's cool. Sometimes when it's really cold, I want warm, I want hot coffee. But yeah, I'm good with the coffee. Sometimes I don't have coffee. Sometimes I have juice instead. Sometimes I have water instead, just to have something different, or I'll have hot tea or something like that. But sometimes like fruit, I mean, like that's not really filling me up all the time. Sometimes it's really good, like, yeah, this is refreshing. It's a warmer day. It's going to be 60, 70 degrees, something like that. And I'm just fine with it. But there's not a lot of 60 and 70-degree days coming up. I mean, it's mid-November, and after Thanksgiving, it starts to get kind of cool here in Colorado. I live along the Front Range, so it's not super harsh. It's not like being in the mountains or something like that where it can be 50 below. We don't get that cold. But we have nicer days, but we have some days that aren't. But I'm like, how can I make this a lot more enjoyable? Well, I have days where I have starch. I don't necessarily have starch every day all the time because it's not the best for me. There's some that I can have that work halfway decently occasionally. It depends. I'm sure I'll be a little bit better at it as maybe be able to handle it better when I slim down a little bit more. But I still have to watch it. And it's me. That's my type of thing. But, on those days, it's like, okay, why don't I have some starch in the morning? And then the afternoon and I don't have huge amounts. But like, let me start off with, like I have my sweet potato hash that I have made a video about. And that's nice. It's warm, it's filling, it keeps me filled for hours, 4 or 5 hours sometimes. So that's one that I've come up with. And then it's like, okay, there's warm oatmeal. If I have the old-fashioned oats, and I just have a little bit of it, and I put some honey and cinnamon in for it. That's the way I like it. And then I have a little bit of something protein-like, because usually it makes me too hungry. But I found, you put a little bit of egg with it, or like the other day I just happened to have some leftover turkey, and so I put about an ounce with it, I had some fruit, and it was lovely. It was different. It was nice. And so now I'm going, okay, but what are those fruit days? Well, sometimes cold fruit's perfectly fine, or room temperature, whatever. Sometimes I'll have mandarins instead, and of course I don't chill those. But I'm going, you know what? I could do a fruit compote. I could mix some fruits together, warm them up, maybe put a little honey with it, maybe some spices, and have that as something warm instead. And there's nothing that says I can't have a little protein in the morning if that kind of fills me up a little bit better. If I have an egg or something like that, just to maybe make me a little more filled up, that's fine too. So I mean, with what I'm doing, so I'm finding that I need to switch it as the seasons have changed, and well, it's changed from summer to fall, but it's going to, here in Colorado, December is definitely winter. With the very rare occasions, it's pretty much winter now. And here this year, we haven't had our first snow, and it's middle November, so that's very, very rare that we don't already have our first snow. We've had a hard frost, so we've had that, but I don't know if it's going to be a milder December or not, but it's not going to be that warm. I mean, we might have the occasional 50, 60 degree day, but anyway, my point is I'm going to make this enjoyable, because I don't want to sit back into the, where I'm like, but I just really want to have those donuts, or, whatever it is your thing is, your pizza, your hamburgers, your french fries, your pasta, your enchiladas, whatever it is you like. Thinking about, yeah, I can have them once in a while, but it's like, oh, I just want to eat this. I just want to eat all that. Oh, I just am so tired of this. Yeah, it's a slippery slope. For me, I think of it that way. I'm going, you got to do something to spice it up. So I encourage you to find a way to make your diet a little more exciting, warm up those foods, find a way to make it like a fruit compote, or whatever it is that you do that you like to, it's part of how you're losing weight and your strategy, your diet at the time. And make it exciting again. Make it enjoyable, because if you make it enjoyable, you're going to keep with it. If you don't, it's going to be misery. And do you really want to be miserable? I don't want to be miserable. I want to be happy. I want to continue to lose weight. And yeah, sometimes I'm going to have, we all have our little plateaus and times when things aren't quite as lovely. But, overall, you're losing weight, you're feeling good, you're able to get your exercise and all of that. And keep going here when it's cold. And I know some people, it's not as cold as other people find it cold. But for a lot of us here in the Northern Hemisphere that are not in the deep South or something like that, it's going to get a little colder. And I mean, enough noticeably that you're probably going to want to change things around some. And so with that, I also have one other thing I want to talk about, and that is that I have had this other mind shift change. And Chris over at For Fun's Sake has said about release work. And something that I'm finding with me is I'm finding all of a sudden I'm like, I've had a little bit of a, you need to get rid of some of the clothes that are too big, because I'm down, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 sizes. Almost, what size I'm in right now, it's getting a little bit loose, but it depends on what I'm wearing. Yeah, I don't need this, because I'm keeping one of the large pairs of jeans just so I can have it and put it on sometime when I'm slimmed down and show the difference. I mean, I have pictures too, but something like that would be good. But I'm like, I don't need those. I'm not going to let myself gain the weight back, and I'm not going to keep all these fat clothes. These clothes where I weigh a lot more. I'm just going to stop doing that. And so that's what I've done wrong before, is I just, in case I need it, or, I have the size, and, I'll get the larger size because I may not lose any more weight. And, I got to stop feeling that way and realize I am going to get more weight off. Now, how much exactly, I don't know, but I'm going to slim down at least a couple more sizes. I mean, at the very, very, I can't imagine I wouldn't be at least 2 sizes smaller than I am now. And I'm sure I'll probably be even more than that. But I mean, it's like at the moment I can really visualize myself 2 sizes smaller. And it's like, yeah, stop keeping these things. And not only that, it's like I have all this other stuff that's I've been holding on to. And it's like, it's my parents' stuff. It's like old stuff old checkbooks and things like that. It's like, and I just threw them out. I'm like, nobody has them anyway. I don't even have to shred them. Just get rid of them. And I'm starting to release some of the old, holding on to things, and having a new mindset of, yeah, I'm not getting the weight back. I'm not keeping these clothes. If I need, if I figure that they're worth, giving to the ARC or one of the charity donation sites, I will do that. Some of them are like, yeah, no, they just need to be thrown away. And so, kind of get rid of what you don't need and have a more positive attitude about losing weight. And yeah, also, like I said, make it enjoyable. I mean, I'm going, oh, I get to buy new clothes. Of course, I don't have much of a budget, so I got to buy a little bit of time and sale and whatnot. But I'm like, yeah, I don't want to get too many because I'm not going to be, they're going to be too big on me, and so I just need a little bit to get me through. Some pairs of slacks to, so I'm not wearing the exact same thing. Like I have 4 pairs of slacks to wear, kind of thing. I try to have maybe a couple more pairs than that, but anyway, depends on what it is. Some of them are kind of larger, but they sort of still kind of work. But other ones are just like beyond ridiculous. I have lots of shirts that I'm like, why are you still wearing those? You don't need to wear that, like. So anyway, rambling on, a whole bunch of thoughts, but just some things to keep you motivated to keep on losing weight because, it's not Thanksgiving yet. And even if it is after Thanksgiving, you can go back to losing weight again. Maybe you're not going to, lose as much as you did when it was a little warmer, but you can still lose weight between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I plan on doing that. Now I don't know how many pounds I'll get off, but I want to get a little bit of weight off between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then I'm going to just go right back to it, and really work on it. But I'm still going to work on it anyway because the main thing is that even if I end up maintaining my weight between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I have to think of it as in I have to eat the way I have been eating most of the time, or I'm going to gain a lot of weight. And the last thing I want to do is, after all the work I put in and getting the weight off and all the work that my health coaches put in, and personal trainer also has put in to getting me, starting to get a little, maintaining that muscle and getting slimmed down and the motivation and the techniques and everything. I'm not gonna let myself backslide. I'm not gonna do it. I am going to keep myself from gaining weight this holiday season. That is my ultimate goal of at least do not gain anything. That's my personal thing. Hopefully lose at least 2 to 3 pounds between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so, that's my thing. You don't have to have that either, but I don't see the point of, okay, now I can just zoom all the weight off again. And, sometimes, I don't know. For me anyway, sometimes it's a little hard to get it started again. I've noticed when I stop. So I don't want to completely stop it personally. And so, yeah, now that I've rambled on forever, and I'm usually not a rambler, just some random thoughts. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving when it comes up. And then I won't even talk about Christmas anymore because it's not Christmas season yet. But go out there, keep losing the weight, keep your diet something that you enjoy, find ways of making it more enjoyable. You've got this. Bye. Like, comment, and subscribe too. Bye.